In a world full of distractions and fleeting desires, few figures stand as tall as Marcus Aurelius. His name echoes not only as a Roman emperor, but as a profound philosopher whose meditations have shaped the essence of Stoic thought. Marcus Aurelius, in the face of immense power, chose a path of inner mastery rather than outward indulgence. While others around him sought pleasure in the extravagance of feasts and the spectacles of the Colosseum, he remained unwavering in his devotion to higher principles. His life was not one of self-indulgence but of self-discipline, committed to fulfilling what he saw as his duty to humanity. His guiding star was virtue, and his compass was reason. What is it about Marcus Aurelius that captures our imagination? It's not just his role as a ruler, but his stoic commitment to serving a higher purpose, rooted in an unshakable belief in fate and duty. He was not swayed by the allure of wealth, fame, or the transient pleasures of the world. Instead, he embodied the Stoic ideal of focusing only on what is within our control, as so powerfully articulated by his predecessor, Epictetus. Epictetus once wrote, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This understanding forms the foundation of Stoic thought and became the cornerstone of how Marcus Aurelius viewed the world. He knew that external circumstances, whether triumphs or tragedies, are largely beyond our control. What we can control and must master are our thoughts, judgments, and actions. The Stoics teach us that to spend our lives trying to control or worry about external things, other people's opinions, outcomes of events, or even the future itself, is to live in constant frustration and suffering. And yet, Stoicism is not about withdrawing from the world or becoming indifferent to the events around us. Quite the opposite. Stoicism encourages us to engage with life fully, but with the understanding that we must always keep our inner state grounded in virtue and wisdom. The more we focus on what we can control, our thoughts, responses, and actions, the more we free ourselves from the chains of anxiety and fear. Marcus Aurelius, navigating the immense responsibilities of being an emperor, epitomized this principle. His clarity of mind and commitment to duty allowed him to face the trials of leadership with a calm and steady resolve. But how does this ancient wisdom apply to us today? Life often feels overwhelming, filled with pressures, uncertainties, and obstacles that seem insurmountable. We are constantly faced with the question, what should we care about? What should we let go of? Marcus Aurelius's answer to this question lies in his reflections on time, the past, the present, and the future. He urged us to stop worrying about the future, a source of suffering that often stems from our overactive imagination. As Seneca wisely observed, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. We spend so much time thinking about what could happen, most of which never comes to pass, that we neglect the present moment. We project ourselves into a future full of fear and uncertainty, creating unnecessary mental burdens. Marcus Aurelius spoke clearly on this matter. Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. His message is simple, but profound. If you are equipped to handle today, you will be equipped to handle tomorrow. There is no need to borrow suffering from the future. Deal with what is in front of you, and trust that when the future arrives, you will be ready. What about the past? Here too, Marcus Aurelius offers liberating wisdom. He reminds us that the past is fixed, beyond our control, and should not weigh on our present. Remember that man lives only in the present, in this fleeting instant, he wrote. The past, no matter how painful or filled with regret, cannot be changed. Our only power lies in how we respond to it. We can choose to ruminate endlessly on what cannot be undone, or we can use the past as a source of learning and growth. The events themselves are not what define us. It is our reaction to them that determines the course of our lives. So why do we cling so tightly to the past? Why do we allow it to have such a hold over us? Marcus Aurelius would argue that it's because we falsely believe we can control or change it by reliving it over and over again in our minds. But this is an illusion. The past is gone. What remains are only our thoughts about it. Instead of wishing for a different outcome or lamenting over lost opportunities, we must shift our focus to the present, to what we can influence here and now. For Marcus Aurelius, this wasn't just abstract philosophy, it was a way of life. Imagine facing the immense pressure of leading an empire, managing wars, famines, political intrigue, and personal loss. Yet through it all, Marcus Aurelius held fast to the principles of Stoicism, recognizing that while he could not control external events, he could always control how he responded to them. This, he believed, was the true mark of strength and wisdom. When we face hardship, whether it's the loss of a relationship, a failure in business, or a difficult childhood, Marcus Aurelius challenges us to not label these events as disasters. Instead, we must ask ourselves, how can I grow from this? How can I use this experience to become stronger? For the Stoic, adversity is not an obstacle to living well, but a necessary part of it. It is through hardship that we cultivate resilience, wisdom, and strength of character. Marcus Aurelius also teaches us the importance of living in harmony with nature and the natural flow of life. To resist what happens, to rage against fate, is to go against the very fabric of the universe. As he so eloquently put it, accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. To live in accord with nature is to understand that everything unfolds as it should, that even in the challenges we face, there is an opportunity for growth and self-mastery. This acceptance is not resignation, it is empowerment. By accepting what we cannot change, we free ourselves from the suffering that comes from resistance. We find peace in knowing that while we cannot control the external world, we can always control our response to it. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom, and it is as relevant today as it was in ancient Rome. As we apply this philosophy to our modern lives, we must remember Marcus Aurelius's advice to hold on to the present moment. Stop worrying about the future or dwelling on the past. Take action now, in the moment, with what is within your power. Don't look to others or external circumstances for validation or motivation. Instead, trust in your ability to navigate whatever life throws at you, one step at a time. Persistence, not perfection, is the key to progress. In closing, let me share a story of transformation inspired by these timeless Stoic principles. John, a man overwhelmed by the pressures of modern life, found himself trapped in a cycle of stress and exhaustion. But through his discovery of Marcus Aurelius's writings, he began to shift his perspective. Instead of reacting to every external pressure, he learned to focus on what was within his control, his thoughts, his actions, his attitude. The transformation was profound. By embracing Stoicism, John found clarity, peace, and resilience. His circumstances hadn't changed, but his approach to life had, and that made all the difference. Through the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, we are reminded that the power to shape our lives lies within us. It's not the events themselves, but how we respond to them that defines our experience. So, as you move forward in your own journey, remember to focus on what you can control, let go of what you cannot, and live fully in the present moment. This is the path to true freedom and fulfillment, as taught by one of history's greatest philosophers. If this message resonates with you, please like and share this video to spread the wisdom of Stoicism to others. Subscribe to our channel for more insights into living a meaningful and resilient life. Together, we can build a community committed to inner strength, clarity, and purpose. See you in the next video.